Hey there, welcome to Sidewalks, the Entertainment Project. Rafael Siegel here, and we are talking Rush Hour 3 with the director, Brett Ratner, and one of the stars of the film, Chris Tucker. Chris, welcome to Sidewalks. Brett, welcome to Sidewalks.
Right, thank you for having me.
I love it. We're vibing with some music, and I wish we had more time, so we can't get into that. I'll have to do a little stand-up and talk about what we're doing musically. But before we talk about Rush Hour 3, we like to get to know you a little bit more. What was Chris Tucker like growing up as a kid in Atlanta, Georgia?
Man, I was the popular kid, the clown, the comedian, and I grew up. I was the youngest of 6 kids, so I always had to strive for attention, to get from my brothers and sisters. So, I took that to school, man, and loved movies, fascinated with movies, and started doing stand-up in high school. I used to host talent shows, and I was voted most humorous in my high school. So, it just sort of happened. People used to say, "You funny, you look like Eddie Murphy," and I said, "What?" So I started making people laugh on purpose, and I found out my passion, and that was doing stand-up comedy.
Not to get too personal, too heavy here, but you're also into social issues. Oh, yeah. Where did that come from, that interest in that?
You know what? It came, almost out of nowhere, man. Because I took some time off from movies. Projects came my way, but I didn't find anything that was that interested me. So I started traveling, and I started finding out what was going on around the world. And I found out that it was, places with no clean water. And I was like, whoa, man, because an animal died in the water supply in Africa, and so things concerned me, and I just. I wanted to use my fame, my celebrity in another way to bring light on different issues around the world, man. So that brings me a lot of joy to go to another country and to realize how powerful movies are, and people recognize you on another side of the world. It's like, Chris Tucker, it's so good to see you. What are you doing here? So it's just a great feeling, and yeah, I get a lot of joy out of that.
You can make an impact. Brett, you're in the hot seat now. When did your interest in movie directing begin?
Oh man! First of all, I'd like to say that I was known for being the most handsome in my school. So
right.
He was funniest. I was the most handsome.
But things usually change when you leave high school. You know what I mean?
I was 8 years old, and I knew I wanted to be a movie director. Someone bought me a movie camera. And I started a Super 8 camera, and I started making little films of my family first, of course, and then I would get my friends to come over after school. And there was Miami Vice was big at the time, so one kid would be like a drug dealer, another kid would be a cop, a girl would be like a prostitute, and I did these like mock Miami Vice kind of kung fu, martial arts kind of short films. It's actually my best work if you see it. And then I went to NYU Film School, and I was like, that's where I'm going to go. I got in when I was 16. I skipped 2 grades. I told my mama, I said, I'm too smart for the kids in this school, so they skipped me 2 grades. She convinced the teachers to skip me 2 grades, and I started young, That's what I always wanted to do my whole life.
So if people are wondering about the facial hair, Miami Vice reference right there.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? Doing a Don Johnson
I'm just
situation.
lazy. I don't shave.
He's a bear. So I call him the bear.
The bear.
I'm a cub.
The cub. You're a cuddly dude.
Yeah.
I don't know that firsthand, but I'm just saying. We don't want to give people the wrong impression now. Real quick, we're sort of running out of time here, but what movie would you like to remake? If you could remake any movie in the history of the business.
God, that's a hard question. The one thing I can just tell you about remakes is that I don't believe in remaking a classic. Okay. If a movie is a classic and it works, why remake it? Hollywood remakes so many classics. Now, if a movie doesn't work and it's a good idea, great idea to remake it. But if it's a classic, you don't. Cooley High, you can't remake Cooley High. Cooley High, I'm sure they're trying to make Cooley High right now. Cooley High is a classic. You do not touch that movie. Right. A lot of classics. Scarface, you can't remake Scarface.
Goonies?
Huh?
Goonies?
That's
what about remaking Goonies?
Hey, that's
Goonies
a good
2?
idea. That's a good idea. We could do that.
Back to the Goondocks?
It wasn't a classic. It was a good movie. I mean, some kids will be pissed off, but
all the kids will play adults, and their kids will go on an adventure.
Exactly.
Huh? There you go.
But you know what? History repeats itself. In generations, kids have grown up. Kids have grown up, and there's new kids now that don't know even Rush Hour. There's 6-year-old kids who weren't born when we did Rush Hour last year. So to introduce them to Rush Hour again or for the first time, is exciting.
Now, tell us about the movie then. What are we going to see that's different from Rush Hour 1 and 2?
Oh man, it's just these characters. Even if you didn't see Rush Hour 1 and 2, it's so fun to see these characters together. Of course, we film it in Europe. We film it in Paris. This movie, but this movie always moves, and it's just exciting the way we always go to different places. Last time we was in Hong Kong and Las Vegas. This time we're in Paris, and we're doing action scenes down the Champs-Élysées, jumping off the Eiffel Tower. I think people they're gonna love it. My character Carter has a love interest in this movie. He's he fights more, and it's just gonna be great, man. So they're gonna see the characters did evolve a little bit from the last movie.
And this is a genre that's existed for so many years. There's been so many fans of the buddy genre, of the buddy cop genre. So this is a classic kind of buddy cop movie. We're following in the footsteps of Eddie Murphy and Richard Pryor before that, and before that Robert Redford and Paul Newman. So it doesn't matter what generation you're from. People love watching duos on screen that have chemistry and screen presence. And these guys are the ultimate.
But this seems to work because, I know we have to wrap here, but this seems to work only because you guys put yourself in these uncomfortable situations and people go, oh, no.
Because it's a mixture,
again.
it's a hybrid. This movie is a hybrid of a buddy cop movie and a fish out of water comedy.
Right.
Yeah.
So you mix those two, and you got real scenes that play like you're watching a thriller action movie, and then you got funny, hysterical stuff that's only funny because of the situation they're in. See, the comedy comes from the situations and not from the jokes.
Right.
There's funny stuff in this movie, but it's because they happen to be in a kung fu school where a 7'9" giant comes out, and that's just
true.
that situation, and that's hysterical. I mean, what are you going to do? You're going to have to fight, right? So those situations is what, and that's what makes it so. Why people love this franchise so much is because the comedy is based in reality. Everything is based on something that Chris or I either seen another movie, dreamt about, experienced, thought of. It's real stuff. It's not stuff we're just coming up with and, you know, for no reason.
Well, I can sit here and talk to you guys for hours and hours, but they give me the rap sign about 5 minutes ago, which is a no-no. But Chris Tucker.
I gotta tell you what I'm doing next, man.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm getting ready to go on a stand-up tour. I'm gonna do a worldwide tour.
Oh, good, you're hitting the stage again.
Yeah, I'm gonna hit the stage again. I did 20 cities before I started doing the Rush Hour 3 because I wanted to get my timing back, you know, get it sharp again. And now I'm going on a worldwide tour. I'm gonna do 15 cities here in the States, and I'm gonna film a stand-up comedy movie and put it out like Eddie Murphy's Raw and Richard Pryor's Live in Long Beach. Wow. And then I'm gonna also film a movie called Mr. President. I've been working on a few years, and I'm playing the first black president. So it's a comedy. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Which
so
could mirror real life.
Yeah, oh yeah, maybe Barack Obama, you never know.
Not to get too political, right?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let me just make a face at the guys who give me the rap sign. See, this is Chris's doing. So
that's why I'm making it happen. I gotta put my stuff out there. And go christucker.com if you need any information on the dates that's going to be on sale. Remember, the middle of September and October. The middle of September.
We want to interview you again if you come back into town.
Oh, I will.
We want to hit you up again.
Okay.
And if you want to donate some razors to Brett, feel free.
I'm
Sidewalkstv.com. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.